friends, we are ready to make our first amigurumi. I'm very excited to teach you how to make this very simple bear with a bow tie using one of my favorite yarns for beginners. It is the Yarn Art Jean Plus. You can get this from HobiumYarns.com, and this video is possible thanks to our friends at Hobium, so make sure you go visit them. So the yarn colors that you will need, everything will be Yarn Art Jean Plus. You will need a teal colored yarn, or whichever color you would like for your bear. You will need black, you will need white, and you will also need something for the bow tie, so I picked a red. So you will need these 4 yarns. You will also need a pair of 9mm Amigurumi eyes, as well as the backings of it to secure it. You will need a 4mm crochet hook. I'm using Clover and More. And you will need a stitch marker. Now this one is optional, but I highly recommend it just for learning how to sew in parts. This sewing is quite easy, so you might not need it, but these pins that have the little circles on here so that you can hold your items in place while you're sewing. Not necessary, but nice to have. Some other things that we will need are scissors and a tapestry needle for sewing things in. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by making the snout so that later we can sew it in. So go ahead and grab your white colored yarn, and if you're not familiar with these stitches, then you will need to see my previous video on common US crochet stitch terms and you'll be all caught up. So let's get started. Taking your white yarn, we're going to make the snout. We're going to make a magic ring and place 6 single crochets inside that magic ring. So go ahead and make your magic ring by looping around your first finger, taking the bottom over the top, then taking the one that's on bottom over your finger. Gently take that off your finger, place your hook inside. You can tighten it up a little bit by pulling on this yarn tail, but if you need a slower explanation, like I said, the video that I had on stitches will show you how to do that. Go ahead and secure this magic ring and then place 6 single crochets inside the magic ring. Tighten that up really nicely. Now we're going to increase around. So go ahead and go into that first stitch over here. Make sure you go under the stitch and place 2 single crochets in every stitch around. You're going to have a total of 12 stitches. For the third round, we're going to single crochet and then increase in the next and repeat that. So we're going to single crochet, use your stitch marker to identify where the first stitch is. Then you're going to increase into the next stitch. We're going to repeat this all the way around, and you should have 18 stitches. So if you look up here, this is the first stitch right here, that V. This is the second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you should have 18 stitches. Now what we're going to do, that's it for the snout. It's a flat piece that we'll sew in later. Go ahead and get your scissors. You cut a nice long tail. Go ahead and pull out this yarn tail, and what we're doing now, this is called fastening off. However, I would like to have a clean fasten off so that it looks like a perfect circle. And you will grab your tapestry needle, and we're going to do something called a clean fasten off. Now it's a little bit hard to see because my yarn is white, but you can see this is the first stitch of the round right here. We're going to skip that one. We're going to take our tapestry needle under the next stitch, the second stitch of the round, just like that. You can see that I'm going under both loops right there. So you're going under the stitch and pulling it out here, and we're going to give it a little bit of a snug tug. Now you take your tapestry needle and back to where the yarn is coming out of. You see right there? That was the last stitch of the round, previous round. You're going to go under here, right in the middle of the stitch, and you're going to go through it to the back like that. You're going to give that a nice little tug, and what that does, it makes a fake stitch on top right there so that it looks like a perfect circle. Now what I'd like you to do is to take your tapestry needle. Now what we're going to do is, this is the right side of the work, as you can see, and the wrong side of the work will have all these horizontal bars right there. So we want to put this yarn through just a few stitches. You can just go under here and just like that, just so that we can secure it a little bit. And you pull the yarn through without pulling it too tight, because we want to make this look even. So you can adjust the stitches a little bit to make it look nice, but it looks like a perfect circle now. We want to get this ready for sewing later. So what I'd like to do is to bring it back to whichever stitch is right above it, going under the stitches like that. And we leave this alone for later so that we can attach it to our bear. So this would be a good time to really pull on that magic ring yarn tail over there, and it's secure. You can also secure it with a tapestry needle by going under the stitches and things. I like to trim off that yarn just a little bit so it doesn't show on the other side. So now your snout is complete. You only need to make one of these for one bear. Now we're starting the body of the bear. What you will need is the teal yarn, your 4mm crochet hook, as well as a stitch marker, and have the other items nearby, like the Amigurumi eyes, the snout that you just made, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Now we're going to make a magic ring again. We're going to place 6 single crochets inside the magic ring. So secure that magic ring like I taught you in the previous video. Add 6 single crochets to your magic ring, and please pause the video until you are ready to move on. There's no rush with this, so you do what is good for you. So I'm going to go ahead and place 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. Then we pull that magic ring to close it up. And now the second round, we're going to increase every stitch. So go ahead and go under these stitches and place 2 single crochets in each. You should have 12 total stitches. Round number 3, we will single crochet and increase. So go ahead and single crochet in one stitch, and then in the next stitch we will increase, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. You should have 18 stitches at the end of it. For round number 4, we are going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then increase in the stitch after that. So it is just 1 single crochet in this first stitch, another single crochet, so it's just 1 single crochet in 2 stitches, and then we are going to increase. Now we repeat this 6 times and it will go all the way around, and you should have 24 stitches in total. Okay, for round 5, we're doing 3 single crochets and then an increase. So go ahead and get started. So we have 1 single crochet in this stitch. We're going to place a second single crochet, or sorry, a single crochet in the next stitch, another single crochet in the next stitch. So we have 3 single crochets in 3 stitches. So one stitch has 1, second stitch has 1, third stitch has 1, and then we will increase. What this is doing is it's making your work grow wider. So we're trying to make the body of the bear to be bigger. So let's do it again. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the stitch after that. That's 3 total stitches, and then increase. Now you should repeat this all the way around, and when you do that, you will have 30 total stitches. Okay, now we are starting round 6, and in round 6 we are going to do 4 single crochets and then increase, and we'll repeat that 6 times. So go ahead and single crochet. That's my first single crochet, second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, and then increase. So you're going to repeat this 6 times all the way around, and you should have 36 total stitches at the end. Okay, now we are starting our single crochet around. So you should have 36 total stitches, and we're going to start our single crochet around, which is going to give height to the bear itself. So now what we need to do is place a single crochet in each stitch. So we're going to do that by placing a single crochet in each stitch. So we just finished our 7th round, which is single crocheting around. And what that does is it's growing taller instead of wider. What we need to do now is since we just finished round 7, but round 7 to 24, so round 7 through rounds 24, we're doing the same thing by single crocheting around. Now that is 18 rounds of just doing single crochets. How you can tell to count rows, or rounds, sorry, in this case we're going around, not rows. How you can count the rounds is like this. You look from the right side of the work. This is the wrong side because you see all these horizontal bars. Those are the wrong side of the work. This is the right side of the work. This will be the outside of the bear. You're counting the rounds by looking at these little lines that you have made here. This is the magic ring round. So that is round 1. Round 2 is right above it. Round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, and round 7. Now in round 6 is when we had the increase, so you can actually see right here that that is the last round of increases. So you can start counting from here. You can count 18 rounds from this increase. So this is 1 round of single crochets that I've done. I'm going to time lapse this. I'm going to do a total of 18 single crochet rounds, round 7 through 24, and I'll meet you back here. Okay friends, I have done 18 rounds of single crochet around. So to check, what we can do is go from here. We know that it starts on round 7, so we can just go 1, 2, 3. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I like to go right here. So you can see that this is the last increase that we've done. The round 7 through 24 should be single crochet rounds. So that is 18 rounds of just single crochet. So I'm going to start by counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Great. So if you have that ready, what we're going to do next is some work on the face. We're going to do a series of back stitches between rounds 11 and 16. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we want to secure this between those rounds. So we put the yarn tail onto our tapestry needle like so, and you just go into a stitch. So for me, the yarn's coming out of here, so I'm going to go into this stitch that's next to it. You just make sure that this is aligned on round 11 right here. And then I'm going to go in just like that so that it could be like this. And now it's come out of here. I'm going to go into the back of the next stitch just like that. And then I'm going to go back into going to the next the stitch to the right of it, and I'm going to do that one more time just so that it's nice and secure. Okay, and now from here I'm going to just keep doing a series of back stitches. So I'm going to actually go back into that stitch to go into the next stitch so that I can start going around. So from here, I'm going to go into the back of the next stitch, just like that, and then go to the stitch that was prior, and then I'm going to, you see that this yarn tail is coming out of here, so I want the yarn to come out of here. So if you have a bent yarn tapestry needle, that would make it a lot easier, but you just try your best by going into the stitches. And then I go back to this one, and then I want to come out of here. So you might have to do some tugging around, but you can definitely do it. So we're just going to keep going around and around and around just like that to get our snout secure. So you want to go under both of those stitches, and I think that is actually the last one. So when you're at the last one, there are a number of things that you can do. You can either just tie a knot, but I like to weave it in and out of some stitches and then tie a knot so that it's extra secure. So what I like to do is I like to go through these stitches here. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I will try to zoom it when I edit. So I go through a couple stitches here, and then I like to go back through these other stitches here. I have to put the yarn back onto the needle because I did not cut it long enough. So learn from my lesson and make your yarn tail a bit longer. And then from here you can just tie a knot, a double knot if you can. Should have made it longer. That's okay. So you do your best, tie a knot, and then if you're happy with that, go ahead and grab your black yarn and cut a fairly long piece. And what we will do with this is to embroider. So I'm going to put this here just so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to start by bringing the yarn out from the center of the snout and going up to the top. So grab your yarn, your black yarn, and then right there in the center, so let me move that over. So right there in the center, we're going to bring out this yarn. So poke your yarn needle through, just through the center, right where you did the magic ring, just like that, and pull on that yarn. I would like to leave a little bit of yarn so later that we can secure it in, and make sure you're not going through both sides, just one, just the front of the face. Okay, so we're going to take this black yarn and we're going to go through the middle here. So I would try to go between two stitches here. So here's one stitch and here's another. So I would just go right in there. And then when we embroider the nose will be 2 stitches wide. So we're making it 2 stitches wide. So there's 1 stitch here, there's 1 stitch here. So you're just going to go into that. So 1 and 2. And you just do it a few times by going in and out of the same stitches. So I will go through here, just like that. I want it to be a little bit thicker, so I will do it again. And I would try to stack the yarn so that it is on top of one another, not crisscross, so that it looks nice and neat. And then I will take this yarn and go through here one more time to bring it on through. Make sure it's stacked exactly the way you want it before you secure it. So that's looking good to me. And then you can flip it inside out. And this one, since the yarn tail is super long, which I should have done on the other one, you can just double knot it, or you can do it the way you did it earlier by pulling it in and out of stitches. It is up to you. I will knot it, and then I will double knot it again. And sometimes I just like to leave a little bit of a tail, and then I save this yarn for some other time. Maybe I'll need it for something else. And then we just need to do the eyes. And then the reason why I did it in this order is because I want it really easy for you to put in your eyes. Because if you do it after you put in the snout and everything, then you can just pop it in. So we're going to add the eyes between rounds 10 and 11, 2 stitches away from the nose. So actually, if you know, the nose was between 10 and 11 as well. So all you need to do is just line it up here. So now we're just putting it 2 stitches away. So this is 1 stitch. This is the 2nd stitch. You just stick it in right there. And before you put the backings on, I would always recommend that you place the eyes first, and then once you're happy, place this, because once you put the backings on, you cannot change it. So 1, and 2. So I will stick it in here. You take a look and see, are you happy with this? Then great. What we will do is very, very carefully add the backings. So I will tuck that in so that it's secure. So once these are in, you cannot take them out. So be very, very sure that's where you want it. And that's our bear so far. So now we're going to do a series of decreases, round 25. So go ahead and place your hook back onto your yarn. What we're going to do is we're going to make 4 single crochets. So here's my first one. And place that yarn or the stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to do a decrease. I am going to do an invisible decrease, but you can use whichever decrease that you like. If you're doing the invisible decrease, all you need to do is take your hook, insert it into the front loop, just like this. You turn it anti-clockwise, and you go into the next front loop the same way. Now you can see that you have 2 really tight loops here and one from the previous stitch. Just need to yarn over, bring it under those 2 front loops, and then yarn over and then bring it through the last 2 loops, and you have completed your invisible decrease. Now you just need to repeat that all the way around. You should have 30 stitches left over. So let's do one more. 1 single crochet, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Go ahead and do your preferred decrease. I will do mine. And go ahead and repeat that all the way to the end of the round. We just finished our 4 single crochets and decreases, and now we're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, and decrease. Go ahead and repeat that all the way around. You should have 24 stitches by the end of the round. The next round will be 2 single crochets and decrease. So go ahead and do that. So remember, that's 1 single crochet, another single crochet in the next one, and then you decrease. So basically what this is doing is making the body shrink and go smaller. At the end of this round, you should have 18 total stitches. Now we need to stuff the bear, so go ahead and grab your stuffing. I like to pull out the yarn like this so that I don't lose the stitch. You add your stuffing until the bear is nice and firm. You can also do this earlier if you want. For me, sometimes I'm flying through it and I like to do it very last minute, but you can do it as you go, which is totally fine. Okay, now I've stuffed it. I want to place my hook back onto this gigantic loop that I pulled out earlier so that I wouldn't lose it. Just make sure that it's nice and firm. You can always adjust this by squeezing and manipulating the shape of the body. That's no problem. So now we're going to finish up the body by doing our next round. This is round 28. We are going to single crochet, and decrease 6 times, and you will have a total of 12 stitches. So go ahead and do that, single crochet and then decrease. Okay friends, now we are finished with our work, and what we need to do is we need to pull this yarn tail out and then cut it and leave plenty of space for sewing, weaving in our ends, and then get your tapestry needle and your scissors. We're going to we already fastened off, and then we're going to weave in our ends now. And when you're fastening off and you want to make a nice clean end, just like your beginning is nice and clean, all we need to do is take that yarn tail. You need to just go through the middle of the stitch and go out, so in to out, and pull that through, and then go into the next stitch. You're going from the inside of the stitch to the outside, just like that. Go to the next stitch. So you're doing this for all 6 stitches. So I've gotten 3 done so far, and this is 4, and this is 5, and then I have 1 more here. And what this does is it's kind of mimicking that magic ring that you did in the beginning. So if you pull on this and look what happens, then it's nice and neat. It looks really good. And then I will just tuck it back inside and bring it out anywhere on the bottom, just like that. And then to secure this, I go through a few stitches like this. So maybe I'll go through 2, bring it through, and then I like to go through on a different round 2 stitches as well, and then I like to go through the bottom 2 that I just did, and that's pretty secure. And then you just place your yarn needle inside and bring it out somewhere else so that we can cut our yarn tail just like that. And then the body is complete, and all we need to do is make the other things like the arms, the legs, and the ears. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll be done soon. Right now we're going to make the ears. We need to make 2 of these, so go ahead and make a magic ring. And you've guessed it, we're going to do 6 single crochets into that magic ring. So secure this magic ring and then place 6 single crochets in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tighten that up. Just like that. Now we just need a single crochet in each of these stitches, single crochet around. So I'm not using a stitch marker. You can if you need to. So I usually just count it out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with this, I like to do that clean fasten off I did before. Make sure that the right side of the work is out. Leave a decently long tail cut and pull this out like that. We can do a clean fasten off like we did before. that it's nice and easy. So we take that yarn tail, we skip the first stitch of the round, we go under the stitch of the second stitch of the round, you pull the yarn needle through just like so, and then you go ahead and go find where the yarn tail is coming out of. As you can see here, it's coming out of here, so you go right through the middle of that stitch going back and you pull it out like that. And that's a clean fasten off. You just have to adjust it a little bit so that this new stitch that you made over is around the same size, and then wherever your yarn tail is, that's the edge. So you're going to flatten your ear just like that, and you just kind of manipulate the yarn a little bit so that it's nice and even. You take the yarn tail from the inside, the one that you started with the magic ring, you can just give it a little cut. So that is the ear. You're going to make another one of these, and then we'll start on the arms and legs. For the arms and legs, they are the same. So I'll just make one, and I want you to go ahead and make 4 of them. 2 for the arms, 2 for the legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a magic ring just like we did before, and this time we're going to secure it, and then we're going to do 4 into the magic ring. So 4 single crochets. So this is clearly a little bit different, but not too much. I strongly recommend using a stitch marker, and then pull that magic ring. After you've pulled that magic ring, we are going to do an increase in every stitch. So that means we will have 8 single crochets at the end of this round. So just go ahead and do your increases. So 2 single crochets in each of your stitches. And make sure that the right side of the work is out, so that way it looks nice and neat. Okay, so now after this, the next 2 rounds we're just doing single crochet around. So go ahead and do 2 rounds of single crochet, and then we'll fasten off together. Then fasten off, get your tapestry needle ready, have a longer tail so you can sew it onto the body. We'll bring this out just like so. So make sure that that's out. The yarn tail that's coming from the inside, go ahead and cut that after you've made sure that you tugged it, and let's do a clean fasten off. Okay, so what we're going to do is place the yarn tail in here and do what we did earlier, which is skipping the first stitch of the round, going into the second stitch of the round just like so, bringing your yarn tail through that, and then as you can see it's making a new stitch over the first stitch to make it nice and level. You go into the last stitch of your round where the yarn tail is coming out of, you can see that right there. Go through here, and 1 arm or leg is complete. Go ahead and make 3 more of these, and I'll meet you back here for the bow tie. So now we're going to make the bow tie. What we're going to do is work in rows, not round. So everything's going to be flat. It's going to be a little bit different, but if you learned the stitches from my previous videos about the US stitch terms in crochet, you'll be just fine. We're going to make a slip knot, and it's very similar to making a magic ring. So go ahead and do what you normally would do for a magic ring. You pull it up, and that is your slip knot right there. So go ahead and place your crochet hook inside and give it a nice little tug so that it's nice and snug on your crochet hook. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 9. So what we're going to do is yarn over and pull through the loop. That's your first chain, and just repeat for 9. Second chain, third, fourth, fifth, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now in this case, we're going to work in rows, so we're going to go back the other direction. We are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So this is the second chain right next to here, because this one is attached to the one here. So go ahead and insert your hook into the middle of that chain right there. Yarn over, bring it up, yarn over, and bring it through both loops. That's your first single crochet. So now we're going to do the same in the remaining 7. So single crochet in each chain going back. So here's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, 7. So that is a total of 8 single crochets that you have just done. Now what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn, and you're going to single crochet in all 8 stitches. Okay, so let's do that. So you go right into the one that's right underneath the chain 1 that you did, and go all the way to the other end. Chain 1 and turn. Let's do it one more time, and then we will just fasten off. And for that, you just need to leave a long yarn tail. Okay, so we go all the way to the end. And we did our last single crochet. Leave a fairly long tail, because we need to make the bow tie with this. So I will cut a decently long yarn tail there, and then you pull out the yarn just like that. And what I'd like you to do is to take the short end from when you started and secure that and cut it so that we don't have it anymore. So you can just go behind the stitches like we did previously. Just go through a few stitches to secure it. Do it however you like, as long as it is secure. So if you learned a different way, that's totally fine. I am going to do it my tried and true method, where I just go between a few different rows of stitches. Once that's good, cut that end off, and let's go ahead and make this bow tie. So what we're going to do is we're going to straighten this out so that the rectangle is nice and neat. We're going to take our tapestry needle, and what I would like to do is to get this yarn tail coming out of the center of the rectangle. So sometimes I like to just fold it in half. You can just count the stitches as well, but this is easy. So I see that I want it to come out somewhere around here. So I just weave it in and out until it's at the center. So we have 8 stitches, right? So I'm going to go through 4 stitches so that it comes right in between the 4th and 5th stitch. So okay, so for me it's right there. You can fold it and check. Yeah, that's about there. And then take the tapestry needle off, and you want to go around the center to make your bow tie by doing it nice and neat like this. Just like that. And then secure in your ends and you're done. So to secure it in your ends, you just go to the back, and then you just you go under all of these loops that you've made here. and then make a knot. You can do that one more time if you'd like. Bow tie is complete. Okay friends, all we need now is to attach everything. So what we're going to do now is to add the ears, to add the arms and the legs, as well as the bow tie. So what you will need is the body of your bear. Then you need a tapestry needle, sharp scissors. If you want to, you could use pins. It's a good idea to place it where you would like it to be, then it makes it a whole lot easier, or you could just do it free-handed. So what I like to do first is to attach my bow tie first. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to sew it onto the bear right under the snout over here. So the bow tie will be fairly easy, but if you want to, you can use some pins to hold it in place. So what I will do is make sure that yarn tail is out and align the middle of the bow tie with the nose. You could just gently, actually I'll press it in over here because I want it to be right there. And this helps it from moving around. So just gently tuck in your pins, and sometimes it's a little bit hard because this yarn is super thick. So I'm going to maybe do it up here and to kind of secure it a little bit more. And again, this is optional. You do not need to use pins at all, but for me, sometimes I do it. It makes it a lot easier. Go ahead and place it into the yarn needle and then sew it in however you like. I'm going to go right into the stitches underneath the snout, just like that. And then I am going to just make a series of stitches until it is secure to your liking. So for me, so as you can see, I came out all the way over here because I want to attach the corner of the bow tie here, but that is also optional. So I feel that it's pretty secure now, so I don't need the pins anymore. So go ahead and secure it. I'm going to secure it here. And also you can make this, when you're winding it, you can make it tighter or looser depending on how you want the bow to look. So here I have it a lot tighter, here I have it looser, so both look good. Alright, I'm going to make this a bit more secure by placing a few more stitches on here. The bow tie is complete. Now get your ears, and you can attach the ears and sew them on around rounds 4 to 7, just above the eye, so you can just place it wherever you like. So you take the ears and you flatten them just like this, so that the ears look like this, so they're not stuffed at all. So if you're starting around round 4, it will be here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and place them on to where you like, and with these I use whip stitches because I think they are more secure and also less noticeable since they're the same color. So you go ahead and sew those on. I like to go through both sides of the ear, and then I go right under the same stitch, and then I go out to where I want to sew it onto the body. So I am on my last stitch here, and then I'm going to do maybe one more secure stitch around here. And this yarn is very forgiving. It's very, very hard to see those whip stitches, so I really like that. And then I don't weave in those ends yet because I want to do the other ear to make sure that I'm happy with the positioning. Again, you can use the pins if you like and try to keep them around the same area. So I will try to keep it around 1, 2, 3, 4, around 4 to 7. You have a look and see if you're happy with the positioning of your ears. If you are, go ahead and weave in all your ends and fasten off or cut your excess yarn after you secured it in. So I am securing it in just the same way that I did before by weaving it in and out of a few stitches on 2 different rounds. And you cut the excess yarn and do the same for the other ear. So I will secure it a few stitches here and also here. I'm going back up here. Now we will do the same for the arms and legs, and they are all the same size, so you can just place them however you like. For me, I am going to put these arms around rounds 14 through 17, 2 stitches away from the snout. So if you are just looking at the snout, and do it approximately 2 stitches away. So if I do it like this, so I have it 2 stitches away from here, and I like to angle it a little bit, or you could angle it this way, it's really up to you. Or you could put it anywhere that you like, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, what will I do? I did it angling a little bit away, like this. So if you do that, and you're happy with it, you can go ahead and stitch that up. If you want to use pins to help you so that it doesn't move around, you can do that. But for me, I feel pretty confident, so I will just freehand it. you just have a look to see if you're happy with the arm placement. If you are, then perfect. If not, then you adjust it accordingly, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, so I'll go ahead and secure all my ends, and I'll show you how to do the legs. Now we are going to attach the legs, and it is actually the same as the arms. You just decide where you want to put the legs, but you could just put it on round 24 or wherever you'd like, but I'm going to put it on 24 somewhere right around here, and then you could align with the arms above, or you could just place it wherever you like. I think I will just do it, maybe I will do it right here so that it aligns with the arms here. So it's really up to you, but I would just whip stitch it onto the actual round that you want the bear to be sitting. So for me, that is round 24. For you, maybe it's somewhere else. So go ahead and whip stitch those into place. Whip stitching is nice because it goes through both sides. It goes through from bottom to top, so that way it's very secure and it's very tight, so that way the limbs, they do not become loose or fall apart. So that's why a lot of people who do amigurumi prefer the whip stitch over other stitches, and it is also my preferred stitch, except for when I'm putting on facial features such as the snout, because the whip stitch will go under and over, so you will see that harsh line. So I just make sure that the back stitch is very, very secure and my tension is very tight, and then I secure it really well on the inside of my work. So let's see here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same for the other leg, and I'm looking at where I aligned it on this side, and I have it lined up between the bow and the arm. So I'm going to do the same. Just make sure that you're doing it on the same round. So I will start here. And these also make really great gifts. Christmas time is coming up. For the holidays, this would make really great gifts, or if you're doing markets or selling items, then this is a really great item to sell since people would really like it. You could add a rattle on the inside, would make a great baby gift. So if you do sell, I would love for you to credit me as the designer in your listing by just saying pattern by Anniegurumi and leaving a link, anniegurumi.co, and that would really mean a lot to me. So now if you're happy with the positioning of the legs, secure it in, and then you're all done. And after you put all your limbs on, your bear is done. So if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and consider subscribing to both HobiumYarns and Annigurumi's YouTube channels. And I'll bring you another tutorial for an amigurumi, something simple like this, so that we gradually learn more together. If there was anything that I could improve on, or if you have any questions, so that we gradually learn more together. If there was anything that I could improve on, or if you have any questions that I can do specifically for you in a future video, please let me know in the comments below. And if you happen to make this bear, please tag me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything, at Anniegurumi. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you to HobiumYarns, who have generously sent all the materials for this video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!